right, let's begin with some breaking news on the story we've been tracking amidst the massive allegations by India's top wrestlers of harassment and torture by the Wrestling Federation of India. The Sports Ministry has now sought an explanation from WFI and directed it to furnish a reply within the next 72 hours. If the WFI fails to furnish the reply, the ministry will proceed to initiate action against the federation. But important to note that the federation president has not been removed in the interim. So what's the story all about? When they bring in the medals on the international stage, we cheer in one voice. The marvel of Indian women wrestlers is a success story we all want to celebrate. What about when they come out and speak of their trauma? Look at those pictures today from Jantar Mantar. Today, 30 of India's top wrestlers, and we'll show the pictures from today. 30 of India's top wrestlers have taken the fight to the Wrestling Federation in a shocking expose of what they suffer behind the scenes. India's top wrestlers, including Olympians Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Fogart, Sangeeta Fogart, Sonam Malik have risked everything when they took to protest and spoke out against Wrestling Federation of India President and BJP MP Brijbhushan Singh. The allegations are shocking and serious. Sexual harassment of women wrestlers, death threats, mental torture and more. Let's first listen in to what they said.
अध्यक्ष जी ने मेरे को बोला कि खोटा सिक्का, आपको भी पता है कि हिंदुस्तान में एक लड़की को खोटा सिक्का बोलना मतलब क्या निकाल सकते हो उसका आप। इसने मेरे को कितना मेंटल टॉर्चर किया था, मैं किसको बताऊं। मेंटल टॉर्चर हुई थी कि मैं मरने तक स्टेज तक चली गई थी। मैं हर दिन खुदकुशी करने की सोच रही थी। एथलीट को मतलब यही कि वो पहली बात तो हमारे पास धमकियां आती है छोटी छोटी चीजों के लिए कि आपको जान से मरवा देंगे। शोषण करते हैं, महिला कोचों के साथ में बुरा बर्ताव करते हैं। कैंप्स में जो कोचेज होते हैं सभी कोच नहीं है उसमें, लेकिन कुछ कोचेज हैं जो फेडरेशन के खास हैं, जो खुद शोषण करते हैं, महिला कोचों के साथ में गलत व्यवहार करते हैं। उसकी मैंने आवाज उठाई है इस बार, और उसके बावजूद भी वही चीफ कोच नेशनल कैंप में लगाए गए हैं। और वही कोचेज जो कैंप में लड़कियां होती हैं उनके साथ में बातचीत करवाते हैं लड़कियों की, शोषण करवाने के लिए ही। और अध्यक्ष जी ने खुद पता नहीं कितनी लड़कियों का शोषण किया आज तक। नाम नहीं लेंगे किसी का भी, हमारी भी इज्जत है। हम लड़कियां हैं, हम हिंदुस्तान में सीरियस एलिगेशन सर हम ऐसे नहीं लगाते। लड़कियां हमारी इज्जत है। हम देश के लिए, हम देश हमारे को ऊंची नजरों से देखता, हम अपने उनकी नजरों में गिरवाने के नहीं बोलेंगे।
स्पॉन्सर प्राइवेट जो स्पॉन्सर आते हैं वो सिर्फ फेडरेशन के थ्रू आएंगे हमारे पास। पहले हमारे पास डायरेक्ट आते थे खिलाड़ियों के पास, अब वो फेडरेशन को पहले फेडरेशन को खिलाएंगे, फेडरेशन खिलाड़ियों तक पहुंचाएगी। जब हमारे टाटा मोटर्स के नहीं आए तो वो कहां से दे देंगे। तो वो चीजें बहुत सारी, जो निचले खिलाड़ी वो बेचारे ये बोल रहे हैं कि हम कहाँ जाएं। जो टॉर्चर चल रहा है खिलाड़ियों के ऊपर, उस हिसाब से मुझे नहीं लगता कि
रेसलिंग में कुछ भी होने वाला है।
तोमर जी खा रहे हैं या कोई और खा रहा है, कौन ऐसा मगरमच्छ बैठा जो खिलाड़ियों के हक को सारे को खा रहा है। गवर्नमेंट हमें सपोर्ट कर रही है और ये अपने घर भर रहे हैं, खिलाड़ियों तक आ ही नहीं रहा है।
जब तक हमारा नहीं होगा जो हम चाहते हैं, हम यहाँ से नहीं।
मांग क्या है? मुख्य मांग क्या है?
मुख्य मांग यही है कि रेसलिंग फेडरेशन को हटाया जाए और नीचे तक के जो अधिकारी हैं सबको हटा के एक नई फेडरेशन का निर्माण होना चाहिए। कि जो नीचे से गंदगी शुरू हुई है या जो नीचे से ही खराब है, सब हट के एक फ्रेश स्टार्ट होनी चाहिए कि हमारे आने वाले जो रेसलर्स हैं उनका भविष्य खराब में ना जाए।
सरकार से बात के लिए कोई बात हो पाई है?
वो हम करेंगे बात, वो हम अपने पीएम सर से और गृह मंत्री सर से बात करेंगे, उनके आगे और हमारी खुल के बात रखेंगे। जो भी है, जो बातें बताई गई हैं, जो विनेश के थ्रू बताई गई है, वो 100% सच है। और कैसे हुआ, क्यों हुआ, किसके साथ हुआ, वो हम खुल के अपने बताया।
So imagine these top athletes who have been celebrated by all of India come out with these strong allegations. What happens next became even more shocking. The response from the accused, the Wrestling Federation chief, BJP MP from Kaisarganj, Madhya Pradesh, who was arrogant and dismissive of the allegations. When put on the mat, Brijbhushan Sharan decided to resort to conspiracy theories. Listen into how he responded.
यौन शोषण
नहीं हुआ
कोई यौन शोषण जैसा
नहीं हुआ,
क्यों लगाएगा?
नहीं हुआ, नहीं हुआ,
वो कह रहे थे मोदी जी को बताएंगे।
बार
नहीं हुआ।
और सर एक या दो नहीं, कई रेसलर
नहीं हुआ, नहीं हुआ। एक भी रेसलर खड़ा कर दो, एक भी रेसलर खड़ा कर दो।
आपको क्या वजह लगी है? आपको क्या वजह लगती है? क्यों लगाए गए हैं?
So, Mr. Brijbhushan says nahi hua. He says, I will hang myself if these allegations are true. He has dared them to come and show who has been sexually assaulted. And he's saying it's all a conspiracy theory. The question here is, why would feted champions lie about something so grievous and risk their careers? Should there not be an independent inquiry into the allegations? Right now, as we reported, the Sports Ministry has demanded a response from the Federation and given them 72 hours to respond, saying pending which action will be taken. But why is Mr. Brijbhushan still the current president till investigations take place? Shouldn't he be removed from the post pending investigations? How can we ensure that the sports stars whose glories we celebrate get the treatment they deserve? To speak on this, I'm joined now by Dr. Sunita Godara. She's the Asian Marathon Champion of 1992. Ranjit Bajaj, former Chairman, COA AIFF, joins me on the show today. Anil Dhupar, Secretary General, All India Tennis Association, also with me on the show. And I'm speaking with Divya Kakran, freestyle wrestler. Thank you so much to all of you for speaking with us today. Divya ji, let me begin with your take. Everything we have seen today, everything we have heard today, आपका क्या response है?
मेरा यही रिस्पॉन्स है, अगर यही सब जो आज जब ये सब पहलवान धरने पे बैठे हैं, आपको पता ही होगा, यही सब अभी 2 महीने पहले बोल रहे थे कि कुश्ती संघ को आगे लाने वाले सिर्फ बृजभूषण शरण सिंह सर थे। आज वही लोग ऐसी बातें कर रहे हैं। तो आप सबको पता है कि जो आज उन पे आरोप लग रहे हैं कि वो पैसा खा रहे हैं, कौन मगरमच्छ बैठा है जो बीच में पैसा खा रहा है, उनको वो मगरमच्छ तो दिखाई दे रहा है, पर उन्हें वो नहीं दिखाई दे रहा जो इतने नेशनल हो रहे हैं। सब जूनियर और सीनियर के 6-6 नेशनल होते हैं, 5-5 नेशनल होते हैं। खेलो इंडिया अब यूनिवर्सिटी में भी आ गया है। इतने सारे उन्होंने 12 साल से बच्चे से लेके सीनियर तक कितने नेशनल हो रहे हैं। तो वो कहाँ से आ रहे हैं? वो अपनी किडनी बेचकर, अपने आप को बेचकर तो नेशनल करवा नहीं रहे। जब वो पैसा आ रहा है तभी तो वो नेशनल करवा रहे हैं। और यही सब दिक्कतें अब क्यों आ रही है जब उनका लास्ट साल चल रहा है? क्योंकि ये अपनी खुद की सरकार लाना चाहते हैं। क्योंकि आपको पता है कि लखनऊ में कैंप लगता है, यूपी में कैंप लगता है, तो सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत यही है कि कैंप यूपी में लगता है। क्योंकि जो निचले स्तर से बच्चे आते हैं, यूपी, पंजाब, यहाँ के जो बच्चे आते हैं, वो वहां पे अपने आप को सेफ समझते हैं कि हाँ, आपको भी पता है कि अभी कितनी चीजें, कितनी लड़कियों को मारा गया है, किसी पे बंदूक।
नहीं दिव्या जी 1 मिनट, मैं समझ नहीं पा रही हूँ। आप ये जो आरोप, 1 मिनट, ये जो दिव्या जी 1 मिनट रुक जाइए। ये जो आरोप लगे हैं आज WFI प्रेसिडेंट बृजभूषण शरण पर, आप इनको सही मानती है, गलत मानती है? इस पर आपकी क्या प्रतिक्रिया है? क्योंकि जो आरोप लगा रहे हैं वो बहुत जाने माने एथलीट हैं।
मानती हूँ मैं इनको बिल्कुल गलत। हाँ जी, आप उनकी वीडियो देख सकते हैं निकाल के कि क्या बोल रखा है पहलवान जी ने उनके बारे में कि ये भगवान है कुश्ती संघ के। आज वो ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं? यानी कि वो आज भी झूठ बोल रहे हैं। एक दिन में कोई
तो
कैसे बदल सकता है?
आपको लगता है फोगाट जी, बजरंग पूनिया सब झूठ बोल रहे हैं? 1 मिनट, क्या आप कह रहे हैं कि ये सब जो यहाँ बैठे हैं वो झूठ बोल रहे हैं?
हाँ जी, आप सबको पता है कि ये सब कौन लोग बोल रहे हैं, जिनके वो साथ थे, उन्होंने हर टाइम पे उनका साथ दिया। ये वही लोग वो इनकी बातें कर रहे हैं। आप सबको भी पता है कि कुश्ती आज कहां से पहुंच के कहां पहुंच चुकी है, और ये नई फेडरेशन बनाने के चक्कर में इसलिए इन सबको पीसा जा रहा है।
अच्छा, तो ये दिव्या काकरण इज सेइंग कि all of these people are lying. She's saying they're lying. Clearly, there are going to be schisms. There are going to be various versions of this. Ranjit, Bajaj, I want to understand why these celebrated wrestlers will come out and lie. Is there more to this than meets the eye?
I think it's a very pertinent question you've asked. Why would these celebrated wrestlers, now see, you've used the word celebrated, that means they are already celebrated. This is not going to
I mean,
add
they've
to their
won. They've
celebratory
reached the
value.
top of their sport.
Yes, they've reached the ultimate pinnacle. They're Olympic and World Championship medalists who are not going to achieve more than they've achieved. So this would have been basically a career-ending move for them. They probably have one Olympics to go, one more Commonwealth to go, and this gentleman, Brijbhushan, is still going to be there. So I would like to ask, that understand what it takes to go and fight against the system. They have been able to do it because they have achieved so much. That is why they were not able to do it earlier, like Divya ma'am was saying, कि पहले वो क्यों बोलते थे कि भगवान है. पहले उनको गेम नहीं मिल रही थी खेलने के लिए. सबको बोलना पड़ता है जैसे आपको बोलना पड़ रहा है. मगर कभी भी कोई लड़की, और एक नहीं इतनी सारी लड़कियां कभी भी आके टीवी पे ऐसे नहीं बोलेंगी unless and until something has really happened. ये एक नॉर्मल बात नहीं हुई है आज, और ये पहली बार नहीं हुई है स्पोर्ट्स में. ये हमारे स्पोर्ट्स में बहुत शुरू से प्रॉब्लम है कि हमारे को अपनी लड़कियों का ख्याल नहीं रखना आता, और जो कोचेस और फेडरेशन ऑफिशियल्स हम रखते हैं, who we give responsibility to, they are the biggest monsters. So we have to do something and stand up for our athletes now. And I totally support.
कैंप का
एक मिनट दिव्या जी, एक मिनट उनको बोलने दीजिए, फिर आपका जवाब मैं लूंगी. उनको अपनी बात पूरी रखने दीजिए जी.
So
Yes, Mr. Ranjit.
I totally support what these athletes are doing. All they're asking for is an investigation. And while the investigation is going on, बिल्कुल ठीक बात है, conflict of interest होता है. अगर आपके अगेंस्ट इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो रही है, तो आप अगर प्रेसिडेंट है उस फेडरेशन के और आपके अगेंस्ट ही हो रही है, अकॉर्डिंग टू इवन नॉर्मल लॉ, टिल द इन्वेस्टिगेशन इज ओवर, आपको रिजाइन करना चाहिए. फिर वापस आ जाओ अगर आपकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन प्रूव हो गई है.
ओके, तो एक मिनट दिव्या काकरण जी, जो आपने कहा है ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, क्योंकि अब आगे जाकर शायद खेमे बनेंगे. कुछ रेसलर होंगे जो कहेंगे कि ये बृजभूषण जी गलत काम कर रहे थे, कुछ आप जैसे कहेंगे कि नहीं, जो आरोप लगा रहे हैं वो गलत है. सवाल ये है कि अगर इतने संगीन आरोप लग रहे हैं
जो वो
तो
गलत
क्या
कर रहे थे,
उनकी जांच नहीं होनी चाहिए
जी?
क्या किसी को आकर कह देना चाहिए नहीं ये सब गलत है?
हाँ जी
क्योंकि जो आरोप लगा रहे हैं वो खुद देश के लिए लड़ चुके हैं जी.
वो इसलिए आरोप लगा रहे हैं क्योंकि बृजभूषण सर जी ना तो छोटे को और ना बड़े को वो एकदम ना इक्वल वैल्यू देते हैं. ये आते हैं कि 5-5 साल तक नेशनल नहीं लड़ रहे हैं, सीधा अपना कैंप में नाम डलवा रहे हैं. हम भी पहलवानी कर रहे हैं और बच्चे भी पहलवानी कर रहे हैं. हमें जो छोटे लेवल के उन्हें रूरल लड़ना, पहले जोन लड़नी पड़ती है, फिर स्टेट लड़नी पड़ती है, जब जाके वो नेशनल लड़ते हैं. ये थोड़ी ना कि परफॉर्मेंस हमेशा अप रहेगी, नेशनल लड़ो और फिर बाद में तुम कैंप में आओ. ये थोड़ा ना कैंप में डायरेक्ट तुम आ सकते हो. इसलिए सब उपाध हो रहे हैं, इसलिए उनको बोला जा रहा है. क्योंकि वो जब उनके ऊपर एक खिलाड़ी ऐसा है जिन्होंने बदतमीजी कर दी, उन्होंने कैंप में भी कितनी बार बदतमीजी कर चुकी है वो, उसके बाद उन्होंने बोला, वार्निंग दी, अगर इतनी बड़ी खिलाड़ी है वो कोई नहीं बोल सकता. सिर्फ बृजभूषण सर ये बोलते हैं कि तुम खिलाड़ी हो, हम मानते हैं, पर और खिलाड़ियों का भी सम्मान करो. इसलिए उन्होंने 2-4 बार उनको बोला है. कितने रेसलर पहलवान को भी उन्होंने बोला है कि तुम बड़े हो पर तुम अपने से नीचे के लेवल को कुछ नहीं बोल सकते. और अब 5-5, 6-6 नेशनल होते हैं, तुम किसी में तो लड़ो, किसी में तो पार्टिसिपेट करो. ये थोड़ी ना जो एक बार चैंपियन बन चुको पूरी जिंदगी चैंपियन ही रहेगा. इसलिए ये उपाध हो रहा है.
Karan right now saying that they are vested interests. They are vested interests. We need to get into this a little more carefully.
Ma'am, they are trials.
She's saying there's vested interests. Yes, Ranjit.
Ma'am, this allegation which keep on is again and again put के
अगर ऐसी बात है तो ये बोले कि हमारे साथ गलत हुआ है, ये सीधा यही बोले कि फेडरेशन ही चेंज कर दो. मतलब सब में दिक्कत हो गई है. जो इतने बड़े पहलवान बोल रहे हैं, सब में दिक्कत हो गई
जाते हैं. They are proper trials which happen. Trials are happening in a public place. सारी मीडिया उस ट्रायल्स को कवर करती है. इतनी कंट्रोवर्सी होती है ट्रायल्स के बारे में कि इनको भी जो ओलंपिक मेडल जीत के आते हैं उनको भी ट्रायल्स करने पड़ते हैं. तो ये कोई बिल्कुल गलत बात है. सो द पॉइंट इज ऑब्वियसली इफ यू आर वर्ल्ड नंबर 1, 2, 3 देन नेशनल्स की जगह जो ट्रायल्स होंगे, जो आपके नेशनल चैंपियन है हमारे ओलंपिक चैंपियन से लड़ेंगे और उनमें से जो बेटर होएगा वो आगे जाएगा. ऑब्वियसली अगर आप जो ओलंपिक चैंपियन है, जैसे अब आपको जो इंडिया को समझ आएगी बात, आप तेंदुलकर को डिस्ट्रिक्ट क्रिकेट नहीं खिलाओगे. बिल्कुल ठीक बात है क्योंकि वो तेंदुलकर है. Same way,
but it's irrelevant, Ranjit. Bajaj is irrelevant. Look at the charges they've put in. It's nothing about trials and champions. They are saying 10 to 12 women have been sexually assaulted.
इनकी
They're talking about mental torture.
की बात कर रहे हैं, अगर आप सचिन
नहीं, एक मिनट दिव्या जी, मैं आप पर लौटूंगी, हम औरों का भी व्यू लेंगे, आप रुकिए दिव्या जी, मैं आप पे लौटूंगी, आप रुक जाइए. I want to go to Dr. Sunita Godara. I want to go to Dr. Sunita Godara. I request everyone, let's hear each other out. एक दूसरे की हम बातें सुने, सबका हम ध्यान दें, सबकी बातें सुने, यही सही होगा. क्योंकि यहाँ पर दिव्या जी बात कर रही हैं ट्रायल्स की versus, they're not playing in the camps, etc. The allegations are very, very serious. If the allegations are false, we should know. We should know. There should be an investigation. Dr. Sunita Godara, unfortunately, this is not the first time we have heard about. 1 minute, ma'am. Let me just frame my question specifically. This is unfortunately not the first time we have heard allegations of women athletes, not in any one sport, but women athletes being subject to harassment. That's a very serious charge. Today, the challenge been thrown by the person accused is come and prove it. Is it possible to even prove something like this?
First of all, see, sexual harassment allegation is a criminal offense. So there should be criminal action. Now, IOA, if they have sexual harassment committee, sports ministry has sexual harassment committee, they should be active. At present, they should be active. They should find out the reality. And these athletes who are sitting at Jantar Mantar, they are not Tom, Dick and Harry. And, you have to have guts to raise voice against such issues, So they have all the rebellions. We always say, to be a rebellion, you have to pay the price. So what consequences they will face, that's a different thing. But at present, I support them because they are raising the questions. I'm into international sports for last 40 years. And these things have, they are happening in all federations, everywhere in sports. And there are very few sports person who raise voice, and the young sports person, they don't raise voice because they have threatening, that if they raise voice, then they will not be selected. What Divya is saying, okay, why not? Now they are Olympic medalists, they are face of their sports, and they are raising voice because they have no fear to lose anything now, because they have done everything. So they are now coming out with truth. Earlier, those who are into sports, playing, current sports persons, young sports person, they are exploited. Federations take them like guinea pigs. Federation always treat them like slaves. And senior athletes only can raise voice, because if you ask any young athlete, they will either do chamchagiri, or they will be suppressed, or they will be in distress. But when these Olympians, medal winners, they are raising the voice, they are doing the right thing, and now
Bajrang Punia has won an Olympic medal for this nation. We've all stood and clapped today. He's sitting in Jantar Mantar, and he's risking his career, he's risking his legacy.
Yes, you are right.
Women are coming and saying we were sexually harassed.
And secondly,
Ms. Fogart is saying not me, but others who cannot come in and speak. My question is, we cannot sit in judgment and say they are false, they are true, this one is a criminal, this one is not. Where is the due process? Why have they been pushed to this stage is the question. I just want to go to Mr. Dhupar very quickly to, get his point of view in terms of running a federation. And why again and again, there's this narrative of whoever the president is or whoever is the head of these federations, usually a political entity, seems to be the king of all he surveys. Has a death grip on the future of these sports people, these athletes. There seems to be a problem emanating from there, isn't it, sir?
Well, there are two issues which I can understand right now. One of the panelists says all national federations have this issue. I totally disagree. I have been the Honorary Secretary General, and over the years when involved with the All India Tennis Association, I have never heard a single case of harassment. I want to make it clear. So the panelists should be very clear what they are talking. Number two.
I'm very clear. Let me tell you about All India Tennis Federation. The DGP of Haryana.
Let
the
me
Haryana
finish
DGP,
it,
Mr.
sir.
Rathod.
Ranjit Bajaj, let him finish. I request you to let him finish and then I'll give you full time. I request you to let him finish his point and then I'll give you full time. Ranjit Bajaj, I'll give you full time. I will give you full time. Let him finish his point. I think everyone should get the opportunity to make their point and then we will take repartees. That's only fair. Yes, Mr. Dupar, please finish your point.
And if you're not open, then these arguments will keep on doing. Harassment, and especially the sexual harassment. I've been deputy chef for the Commonwealth, and this wrestling team was definitely coordinating with me. I don't see any such issues coming out of the Commonwealth when we won so many medals at Birmingham. Leaving aside, if there's an issue of harassment, then the first point is, let's have an inquiry. Why talk state? Otherwise, no national federation can run. Anybody who is against the national federation or have got no interest can put an allegation, and then the secretary and the president or whoever is a national federation is removed is not correct. Number one, if there's an allegation, which I really appreciate, if there is an allegation by a senior athletes, which I really appreciate, then the first question is to get into the inquiry. And if you have an inquiry, the facts will come. Coming down only to the point of resigning a president or a concerned person from the National Federation.
How will there be a fair inquiry when the accused is the president? This is the basic.
I'm going to tell you,
this is the basic of jurisprudence. It's the basics of how any investigation is carried out. The one who is, sir, let me complete, please. Because I've given you ample time. Please let me complete the point I'm making and the counterpoint I'm raising. You are saying that there is a process, etc. Clearly, they are desperate. They're sitting there out of desperation. And if they're accusing a certain individual, how can that individual continue and there be a free and impartial inquiry? Wouldn't that be an anomaly?
Who is going to make an inquiry? Not from the Wrestling Federation. It has to be a man beyond Wrestling Federation who is going to head an inquiry. So how it concerns the president, how a president can, involve in an inquiry being done? Say
they will, of course, question those who are still reporting to that president. Sir, I'm not understanding your argument here. Ranjit Bajaj, please respond.
If a government appoints a person from
yes,
the
Ranjit Bajaj, please
side,
respond.
Yes, like you said, ma'am. If he's going
there are ways of inquiry where...
Let Mr. Ranjit Bajaj speak now, please.
Can I respond? Yes. So if they're going to be inquiring about the president from the coaches and the national team coaches and checking up out all the facts and verifying those facts, if that guy is your boss, how are you going to give evidence against him? Because your job is on the line if this guy is still there as a president. Number one. Number two, Mr. Anil said he's been part of the AIFF, the All India Tennis Association, for a long time. Let me remind him of a case where the DGP of Haryana, Mr. Rathod, was allegedly involved and proven and then convicted for molesting sexually a 13-year-old tennis player and calling her to his house. So this thing about is not happening, is happening everywhere. And if you choose to be so blind when I've given you such a live example, you can quote me wrong, because he's not only been that, he's been convicted for it. Now, about this, ma'am, this is a systemic problem in all our federations. If, okay, he says not one, maybe one or two are not there, but all of them. In fact, what we need is stringent laws which ensure life bans for these people coming anywhere near our kids. Because which father will send his daughter to a national training camp when he knows that these monsters don't even leave the international Olympic athletes? They are mentally and sexually and in every other way harassing athletes who are Olympic level athletes. So what chance does a new athlete have in
No,
standing
a
in
couple
front
of
of these
things.
monsters?
No, absolutely. What does it do for the participation of women in sports is definitely a key question. But I also want to talk about one allegation, which I found very disturbing, which came from Ms. Fogart, saying that when I lost in Tokyo, I faced mental torture. I faced death threats after losing. And this is important because, we always celebrate the wins and then we feel bad when we haven't won. And there is also so much pressure to win. Is this giving us a glimpse of what happens afterwards if you don't get that medal? I want to take Dr. Sunita Godara's view on this. Yes, ma'am.
That's why in the beginning I said they treat athletes like guinea pigs and slaves, I remember, that is in 1992 when I won the Asian gold medal and I came to the federation. I said, I won the gold. You know what federation director told me? Oh, you won the gold. I thought you will drop out. See how they treat the athletes? Instead of praising me that, okay, I won the Asian gold, he said so. So these things are happening then also. And after 32 years, same things are happening. This sexual harassment is with the young girls, with the girls who are coming from very humble background. Because they don't speak out, they are sexually harassed. Those who speak out, they are mentally harassed. That's the problem in federations.
If you don't speak out, you're mentally harassed. You could be sexually harassed. If you speak out, you bear the brunt. Anil Dhupar, again, we are not in a position to say that these allegations are correct or wrong. There needs to be an independent investigation. But this is not the first time. And this is not the only federation where athletes, male and female, have come out and said that the system has a problem. Do you think the system needs to be re-looked at?
Definitely.
Where the athletes are at the mercy of the top bosses?
You see, I'm into administration for now a number of years, maybe 3 decades now. Everything needs a change. Everything needs to be looked into it. I'm not saying the allegation is right or wrong, but somebody has to inquire whether an allegation of what kind. We even, while discussing the issue, we are not aware what allegation they are being put and why the president or the other people are being put into this category of being harassment. There have to be some kind of inquiry by the right people, and the ministry, the SAI, all they can put into any person, a senior person.
Mr. Dhupar, did you hear Mr. Brijbhushan's response today? आपने सुना कि उन्होंने कैसे respond किया?
सुना, उन्होंने तो नहीं बोला है, which you see, हर आदमी नहीं बोले, हाँ बोले, मैं उसको सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा हूँ. मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ
नहीं, हाँ ना की बात नहीं है. किस एरोगेंस से उन्होंने जवाब दिया जब इतने गंभीर आरोप आप पर लगे हैं. कोई आकर कह रहा है कि I have, Vinesh Fogart is saying I contemplated suicide, and you have shrugged it off. You shrugged it off like it doesn't matter, like these athletes don't matter.
नहीं, मैं जो बोलना चाह रहा हूँ वो शायद आप उसको राइट स्पिरिट पे नहीं ले रही हैं. मैंने कहा एलिगेशन है तो बहुत सीरियस है and we must look into it. And who will look into it? The government will look into it. The ministry will look into it. They can appoint a senior person, not only from the ministry, but from any IO person, or maybe a High Court judge can inquire. I'm not saying it can affect the presence of the president. What I'm saying is, the allegation have to be looked into it, and it's serious. I am supporting the players to the extent that we should be free from all these pressure tactics, which I believe is not going to help the Indian sports at large. We have to look into it where our sportsperson who bring glory to the country have to be free from all these allegations, from all this fear, and can perform better in years to come. Now we have got a Asian Games coming up, then we have got a Olympics coming up. We have to concentrate to put our best. We are all putting our best to bring glory to the country. This is what is my humble submission.
No, we all know we are putting up our best, but in the we putting up our best, the athletes is the most important part. And they should not be feeling
center stage.
So cornered.
That's
so
very
cornered.
correct.
I want to just play out, I think we're missing the point. I just want to play out for you again what the athletes said, and especially what Vinesh Fogart said, and how emotional she got. What would be the ulterior motive to do this, if that's what is being claimed? Let's listen in.
इतना मेंटल टॉर्चर हुई थी कि मैं मरने तक की स्टेज तक चली गई थी। मैं हर दिन खुदकुशी करने की सोच रही थी, और मैं आज भी बोल रही हूँ, अगर किसी भी खिलाड़ी को कुछ भी होगा रेसलिंग में, तो प्रेसिडेंट, देश जो हमारे रेसलिंग प्रेसिडेंट है वो जिम्मेदार रहेंगे, हमारी फेडरेशन जिम्मेदार उस चीज की।
विनेश के बारे में आपने पीएम को बताया था?
जी, मैंने सब बता रखा है। सर ने बात की थी, उन्होंने बोला था कि कुछ नहीं होगा, और भगवान की दया से मैं ठीक हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे को तो यकीन भी नहीं था कि टोक्यो के बाद में वो बंदा मेरे को जिंदा रहने भी देगा कि नहीं रहने देगा। इतना टॉर्चर मेरे को मेंटली किया था। नेशनल कैंप्स में जो कोचेज होते हैं, सभी कोच नहीं हैं उसमें, लेकिन कुछ कोचेज हैं जो फेडरेशन के खास हैं, जो खुद शोषण करते हैं, महिला कोचों के साथ में गलत व्यवहार करते हैं। उसकी मैंने आवाज उठाई है इस बार, और उसके बावजूद भी वही चीफ कोच नेशनल कैंप में लगाए गए हैं, और वही कोचेज जो कैंप में लड़कियां होती हैं उनके साथ में बातचीत करवाते हैं लड़कियों की, शोषण करवाने के लिए ही। और अध्यक्ष जी ने खुद पता नहीं कितनी लड़कियों का शोषण किया आज तक।
No, she's talking about the coaches. She's talking about a rotten system. Ranjit, Bajaj, of course, there will be an inquiry. The sports ministry has already sent a notice. I don't know why there's no suspension pending investigation, but they have sent a notice. They've asked for a reply in 72 hours. These are very serious allegations which go beyond one individual.
Ma'am, in fact, what should be done immediately, like Swati, ma'am of the Delhi Commission of Women, the National Commission of Women has said that they've taken cognizance of the offence. A 0 FIR has to be lodged, and investigation has to be sought because an allegation has been made. When an allegation is made by a woman for outraging her modesty or sexual harassment, she does not need to go and prove it in any court of law. It's not that your word against mine. According to law, I'm not saying this, her word is taken as truth, as Bible. So they better do something, because it's not about sports now anymore. It's about protecting the rights of our women. Simple as that.
Yeah, but the important point over here is because we're dealing with the facts here. Vinesh Fogart has said this has not happened to her. She knows of 10 to 12 other women who have suffered this. Which is why perhaps that arrogance and that confidence to say, okay, let them come forward. Because nobody is going to end their career and come forward.
Yes.
And also, what tomorrow here they have no support left. Then what if everybody then backs out and leaves them out to dry? So that is why it's a very, very tricky situation. That is why the law allows, by the way. You know why this Mr. Brijbhushan again and again is brazenly saying this? Because he wants that the biggest fear of a woman is that this thing should be brought out in public. That's the biggest fear. Do you know how brave they have been to even go and tell Vinesh Fogart about it? Do you know how brave these women are? And now instead of supporting them, you said take their names out in public and splash them in the papers. There's a particular law just to deal with the subject that you cannot reveal a name of a woman who has been, who's alleged sexual harassment or in the workplace. And this is workplace. This is where the law has been made for. And that is why we need to protect the identity of these women and not keep on hounding Vinesh Fogart, or even for that matter, Bajrang Punia, and by news channels that tell us the name, because he's not supposed to be.
And Bajrang Punia is talking about other serious stuff as well. He's saying rules are changed 1 or 2 days in advance. We're not told about them. We don't know what is happening, and
ma'am, this was a dictatorship. Right from the beginning, if you saw clips, I saw a clip going viral where this gentleman was slapping a 15-year-old wrestler. No matter what the allegation, he says it was overage. But you can't start slapping people on the stage when you're the Wrestling Federation president. Then he's going and overturning. I've actually seen a clip where somebody's raising a hand, the referee's raising the hand of an athlete.
We have that
and he
clip.
goes
We're
down to the
running it
dais
right
and
now.
he says, no. Yeah, and this guy's not winning, this guy's winning. And he just goes and changes the decision of the referee. So this is the kind of blatant dictatorship which was going on. Forget about all these incidents. Even before that, this was this. But this is criminal. This is way worse. I mean, you can't even imagine. This is going to bring down a generation of people who want to go and join wrestling. Because
no, they need to clean it up.
honest,
we can have all the slogans and posters of Khelo India, but till we don't clean house on this, it's not going to work.
Beti bachao, beti padhao, beti padhao, beti bachao. Abhi time hai beti bachane ka.
All right, we'll wait and see what action takes place, and we hope there will be action. I want to thank all of you for joining us on the lead story this evening as we wait for investigations into these very, very serious allegations. We'll take a very short break, but when we come back,